the fucking record button, and then boom, now you're started a fucking podcast.
It's how you start, period. All right.
Hey everybody, it's Ed Bowman here. I still go by they, them, but that's cool. How are y'all? Welcome back to Stormwater Creek. We're an androgynous podcast now.
Really catering to the LGBTQ plus
IA plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Delta Epsilon Alpha.
Did you get that out of your system? Both of you, absolutely.
I don't know. I feel like we've been podcasting more, so we're sharper.
No, that's false.
No. We are not like wine. We do not get better with age.
Look at me. I'm falling apart here.
Dude, what's wrong with you now?
I don't know. Everything.
I figured there was a physical ailment. Maybe trip. Did you fall? Did anybody fall this weekend?
The plan was perfect. It was very low key. It was an easy hunt. Mildly successful.
Dude.
But it was an easy hunt.
Glenn and I had... Glenn, I'm always a little leery about those. So I'm just like, man, like we had a perfect execution of like Friday we went hunting early and ran around.
We don't care what you and Glenn did, man. We were trying to talk about our.
And then Saturday was a straight up like perfection of carrying out everything that went right was great, and then shot some ducks. Would have been better if we shot a 2-man, but outside of the fact that my phone was lost in the process, it was all in all pretty good. So, how was the North Zone for you boys? Nobody fell?
Why?
I can't believe that.
I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Why? Because you're annoying?
Because I'm annoying?
We're trying to conduct a podcast here.
Knock, knock.
Can you please be professional?
No, I'll take the bait just because I want to know what's about to happen.
No, I need Abe to respond.
Who's there?
Fuck you. North Zone was cool, man. So spot number 1, I pulled up. What time did we say? I got there at 2:30.
2:40.
There were 6 trucks there already, and a dude walked up as soon as I pulled up, and he's like, "License and registration." I'm like, "Excuse me?" It was obviously he was just trying to be funny, but he's like, "Be honest with you, buddy." He's like, "We got people all up and down this cove over here. There's about 18 of us." And I was like, all right, well, on to spot number 2. And that was cool. We got in.
We did the new move of I boated in all the gear and Max, and they walked in. This was a little different because it was an unwalk-in spot, but they could walk in a handful of hundreds of yards from it. And so I boated in with all the gear and dumped it on the beach real quick or on shore. And then ran around the corner and picked them up and ran them the rest of the way in. So, worked perfect. Yeah.
Perfection.
That's been a move a lot for the last bit. Because it just makes... and you find a walk-in spot near where we want to hunt, if not hunt. I can just roll all the gear in fast on the boat. They can walk in, easy walk. Mm-hmm. It just works well for us.
I love it. We did that last year too. I mean, on the other spot, we set that up. So it's like, all right, cool. We're just gonna walk in. You take all the gear. It's even with all the gear, you just still can run much faster because you don't have humans.
Yeah. And gear and dog. Dog is almost a human.
Max is a human.
He's the greatest human.
Max did great.
Better than you. Fucking Max. Oh, God. There was the final bird that we got that day, and it just didn't want to die. I think it took 5 shots. Five fucking shots. And it dove on Max a few times, and he didn't really give up, and finally he found that bird. He was so stoked.
With Cripple's Aid.
He's awesome. He will not stop.
Oh, it's like it's just like his dad. Like the accountant, I've got to finish it. I've got to finish it.
He was raised in a good home.
That was good, man.
Yeah, he does have a good home, unlike this unswined freaking maniac.
What was the word you just used?
Yeah.
Unswined.
Unswined.
Is this a word that I don't know? That's an honest question, or did you?
I think Jordan told me about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Slickery.
Slickery.
Never heard it.
No, it's just because it's not a word.
Okay,
Swine. This.
Unwashed.
it's very
swine is
close
what
to
I'm
the
looking
word.
for.
Were you trying to say unwind, which would not have made sense either, but that's a real word?
No. I don't know what word I was trying to use. I'm running on straight up
I think it
fumes.
sounded good.
Because you
Anyway.
smoke cigars like a chimney.
Dude,
We got our guest jumping in now. Abe, why don't you introduce our guest, man? You set this up today.
well, this is Rob.
Like,
Oh my God.
Everybody, Rob.
This is Rob Ashcraft. He's our good buddy from down south. Our friend Nate Wilson. You've heard him on the podcast before. This is his brother-in-law,
Start calling him Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
Yeah.
Natty Light.
Nathaniel,
that's
Natty
good.
Light, I like that.
the vanilla gorilla.
Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You have
Yeah, guys.
we've hung out with you a couple times. think
Just
maybe it was
when
once.
we were down
Hung
the
out with
Rockport
guys.
and did some
Rob,
fishing.
Yeah. We did some.
Yeah, brutal south winds that
Ripping.
weekend too. I remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was.
Yeah.
Didn't you guys see the bottom of the boat as we were coming across the bay? It's like,
That's a hell of an introduction to that area.
I was
for
so
sure, man. You know?
driving that boat all day, just getting beat on.
I can imagine. I was looking at that, and I was just like, "There's no way I'd be able to stand after that
had
with
like
my
an
back."
infarction
on
his leg.
We got at the house, and I
That's
grabbed
right.
like 4 beers and sat down on the couch. And Abe was we tried to take one. I was like, "Nah, those are mine." Go get like, these. And you know, like, we fished in the morning. I was like, "I'm not. Y'all can. I'm done with this place."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way. You know, sometimes that was my first time meeting that guy we were with too. You know, so it was a kind of, I think, a learning experience for everybody involved.
Cap-
It was
Really?
great.
Fun.
Like, all that said,
Cap-
don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome. It was horrible at the time, but it was awesome. Go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Great
Yeah,
time.
for sure.
Yeah, and
bet.
the more I've gotten around boats more often now, and I can absolutely sympathize with you, man. Like, there's just nothing worse than having to deal with a boat, especially a tiller steer, in that kind of wind. Just
Oh yeah,
And a
yeah.
flat.
used.
And we were literally
Yeah.
far south as you could get, or far, I guess it would have been west when we were fishing
Yeah.
some of those bays. And the only way to get out is to go directly
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
it,
You gotta
you know. So
Unprotected.
it separates the men from the boys for sure. you
Neat.
know.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't want to be a man anymore. It was tough.
Yeah. Being an adult.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with how I
I just
am.
want
You
to be
know,
a little boy.
Yeah.
for sure.
Rob, I think you were also there, and maybe you weren't. I know we've done some duck hunts out at Stick Farm. You know, rest in peace, Stick Farm. But I feel
Yes,
like you
yeah.
were maybe there on my first dove hunt out there too.
Could have been. Yeah, I think I got to hunt out there twice. I believe.
I think that's when we were shooting out of the back of the trucks. We were throwing clays out of the back of someone's truck and then driving around and shooting clay pigeons. I don't know.
Yes, yeah,
Good rat
yes.
stuff out at the farm.
That's ADHD for rednecks. That's all.
Oh, man.
We got to spend our time somewhere.
Yeah.
You know.
The things that come about at Hogorama, the little thing we do at my lease in February, we're out there for days drinking beer and burning things.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm going to hunt." Like, no, you're not. There's 100 people here. You're not going to hunt. You can go out in the woods, but You're not hunting. You're just sitting in the woods.
Right. Just go enjoy yourself, though. That's what
That's why we should 100% turn it into an army game and just airsoft that thing.
Okay. Exactly. We
just hunt each other.
Yeah. Shoot each other. Let's hunt. Dude, would you get in trouble if you like caught somebody and then just like straight up executed them with an airsoft gun? Like,
excuse me?
Shoot him in the back of the head.
Trouble. Like, from who?
From who?
I don't know. Like, do you think somebody would be pissed at that? Probably, right? Just like executed him.
I mean, I feel like if I got shot point blank and like in the front of my head, I would be pretty annoyed. But also, like, why would I let that happen? Like,
would you commit suicide?
Oh
yeah.
Hey, you're weird.
Yeah, a long night last night.
You're weird today. Would you
get crazy
if you executed
so weird
airsoft gun? Like, well, there's a lot of layers to that sentence.
are you drinking right now too, aren't you?
Me? No, I'm just having Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
so
keeping it calm tonight.
Yeah, I'm headed to bed after this.
Oh, sweepy.
It's rainy and cold down here in Galveston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, well, Rob, you shot a big, giant deer this year, and we wanted to hear all about it, man. Tell us, you've been chasing this deer for 5 years now?
Yeah, like for real. Just start at the very beginning of this story.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have been, and I've learned a lot through this deer, a lot about life, a lot about a lot of things. It's been quite the journey. And but first, I guess I grew up in South Texas and started hunting as a kid, and it was really kind of the only thing that would keep me in doing good in school or anything like that. They threatened to take hunting or fishing away, and so I would always make sure I needed to do what I needed to do so I didn't not get to go hunting or fishing, So it's always just been a real passion of mine, and grew up doing it, loving it, growing up down there by Padre Island, Growing up, you don't know what you got till it's gone kind of thing, What a paradise we had back in the 80s, and it's still great down there now by all means, but it was wide open when we were there, So, that got me into hunting, and I didn't hunt for a long time. I went to California and worked on bird ranches and stuff like that, but didn't actually do any whitetail hunting. And when I left out of high school in '96, my parents divorced, so kind of hunting was, I wouldn't say taken away from me, but it kind of just disappeared for a while, if you will. So I finally got back here in 2011, and I think we got on this place 15, I think is when it was, 15 or 16, and been hunting ever since. And it was my third year, and I saw this one deer. He's a younger deer, and everybody's trying to grow deer, and there's cull bucks and stuff like that when it comes to hunting. And anyhow, I've noticed this deer and just have let him walk over the last few years. And back in 21, when I really kind of wanted to get after him, I had gone on a high fence hunt and was able to shoot a 165. And so it was easier to pass on that deer. He was probably around a 170 deer at the time, I didn't realize it at the time, but he was a little bigger than I realize now, But we let him walk that year, and then last year he had just really kind of taken a downturn with the drought had happened, and he lost a lot of inches, and we lost a lot of deer on the place actually, and so it was nice to see him make it through and come back, and not only come back but be super healthy this year, and ended up finishing out at 171 points, just about. And I think that deer was probably, we're guessing in between 7.5 and probably 8.5 years old, So he just got to stay around where he was at. He got old, and I fed cottonseed over the last 5 years, just mountains and mountains of cottonseed. And I think that really helped keep him around, number one, but also just gave him what he needed to survive through some of those freezes that we had over the past few years, and the drought last year. And it finally just all kind of came together this year, and we were able to get him. And I hunted him hard in bow season, and it's fun. We all bow hunt stuff like that, and I'd like to say I'm a good bow hunter, if you will. I've gone public land hunting and shot a little A point off the ground, down in Rio Teniente 2 years ago, and that was a blast being on public land like that and being able to capitalize. But the third week of the season this year, I had him, and he came out one morning, and everything was pretty right. There was a couple other bucks around at the time, and they were crashing brush and just making a bunch of noise, and I got fired up, and my heart started beating, and it took me probably 15 minutes to settle down, end up drawing on him after it, and I ended up missing him. Clean missing him, shooting directly underneath him.
How'd you say you were set up? I'm sorry, you were in a ground blind?
No, when I was hunting him during bow season this year, I have a tripod that I hunt as well. I have a couple of tripods. One that Nate's deemed, we call it the chair of death, and basically it's just a chair, a 10-foot chair in the trees, man. And,
I know the drill.
We do a lot of so shot a lot of stuff out of it, deer, pigs, all that. And, like I said, I consider myself a decent shot, if you will, and he came out that morning, and I finally was able to draw on him, and I shot directly. He was at 30 yards, and what I ended up doing is I ended up putting my 20-yard pin on him, and I shot directly underneath him. It all ended okay after that. I was pretty sick about it for a few weeks. The one thing I was super thankful of, though, was I didn't, wound him.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have had a hard time with that, And in the end, it was all just part of the journey with this deer. And, we've got 6,000 acres out there, and there's 16 other hunters. And for the first few years, I kind of kept him under wraps, and nobody really knew about him. I know other people had probably seen him, but I didn't hear much about it, and I'm not one to really divulge a whole bunch of information when it comes to those things. And if you've ever been on a lease, you can understand that. I think there's a lot of drama that goes with being on a lease at times, and you have 16 other guys, and everybody's got an opinion, and actually, it can get a little difficult at times, so the rules get split and those kind of things. But I had kept him under wraps, but by 2020, everybody kind of knew about him. 2021, really, and I was able to finish it out opening morning this year, and I hadn't seen him. I went up Wednesday before the season opener this year, before the Saturday, and I just knew for sure I was going to put an arrow in him, but I hunted Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning, Thursday night, Friday morning, Friday night, and never did see him. And so I knew some other guys were seeing him, so I was pretty much at peace with knowing that it may not be me who gets him. My wife doesn't pray per se, but I think she was praying for me to get this deer because she knew what it would be like if somebody else would have got that deer, So I was so fortunate. The feeder went off opening morning, and nothing came out, and I was very surprised and never got disheartened. I just kind of waited, and I was like, if it's meant to be, it'll be. And all of a sudden, one deer came out, and it was him, and I let that 243 sing, and it was all over with, So I wasn't quite sure how I was going to feel, following a deer for so long and actually shooting it, I wouldn't say you develop feelings for deer, but this one, I've felt a lot for this deer all through the years. And just a really, really special deer,
Yeah.
So I learned a lot with just, I think with just growing deer, if that's the way to put it, if you're allowed to say that, I think you can make a difference. Um, Doing a few things out there, it's hard to truly manage. I don't think you can truly manage wild populations of deer. That's just my opinion. Other people might see it differently. But this one particular deer, I can say I had a little bit to do with him hanging around, I think, and God helping me just stay the course and finish the deal. That's the truth. So I hope everybody that hunts, I hope that they at some point have the same feelings I had harvesting this one. That's why we do it. It's not about killing. It's about the journey and the chase. And the pursuit. I think more than anything.
Absolutely.
So.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's like I heard y'all talking about the ducks and halfway boating in and halfway packing in and falling and. Yeah, we want it to go smooth. There's no doubt. But if we didn't have all those hang-ups and small things, it wouldn't be worth it. I don't.
Oh, I mean, that's I'm always a little leery on, like we talked about before we press the record button, about just any hunt that goes smoothly is always like, maybe it needs to go a little rougher.
Yeah.
You want it to be a little bit like, oh shit, like this is messed up. But those seem to be the hunts where it's at your worst, it becomes your best,
Yeah. I never would even consider, shooting something opening day. I mean, we've got 3 more months to hunt, and it's the 90 fastest days of the year for us, but, and it goes by quickly, but I can genuinely say I was relieved, number one, and I'm thankful, that I can go hunting now for the rest of the year, and it's a lot more fun, I guess is the way to put it,
because
I can relax.
Yeah.
The pressure's, yeah.
Go shoot a couple of those. So, and
yeah, man, get some meat, in the freezers, and spend a little more time maybe cutting firewood and just doing, things that we do, spending time away from the city, and we work so hard. You just get out there and enjoy it, even put the phones down and just sit there and just see what we've been given, it's so worth it, so.
Agreed. I'm looking forward to a little.
But very lucky to get him and have him around and just let them get old. I mean, we look at all these feeds and stuff, and it's very rare, I think, in Texas that you get a deer that makes it to 4.5 years old. It just doesn't happen. Everybody wants to shoot a deer, and I get that. I do that too. We all want to go shoot a deer. But I really think that letting them get old and letting them get over that 5-6 mark, we can truly see. They'll be at their best by then. Everybody says 3.5, 4.5. But gotta let them season and get old. We didn't. Yeah. We're all a little older now. We didn't. We knew a lot when we were in our 20s and 30s, but you start getting your 40s and 50s, it all kind of comes together for you.
Yeah.
We're old enough to know when to say when and those kinds of things too. Wisdom is the key.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
Austin's got a lot of.
You guys been doing much whitetail hunting this year at all?
I've gone one time this year.
I say, I've been out. We have MLD at our lease, so yeah. So we started September. October. So we get October through into February. But yeah, it's cool.
Correct.
A 10 and an 8 got shot open weekend in October. We had a bunch of nice stuff on camera. This is out east, so chocolate horn, not big deer, and it's we're low fence, East Texas, so it's these nice 8s and 10s are nice deer to us. Like you said, being out there and in the swamps and seeing stuff and hanging out and doing all the work that it takes to keep a lease running, because all Mother Nature wants to do is take it back over. It's just constant battle.
No doubt. It keeps me sane too, doing those things, just because I I wouldn't say I get obsessed with deer, but like this deer here in particular was, it's all, it's all I thought about, and thank God I have a wife that understands me, I guess, because I don't think a lot of women would put up with just all I talk about is deer and think about is
Right.
deer, and this one in particular was just a very fun deer, and just learned a lot with him, and was able to follow him for
Yeah,
so
deer of a
long. It was
lifetime,
really
and
worth the ride.
watching it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other, and it was tough because I knew the other guys were after him, and I knew some guys, if they would have seen him, they would have, passed, because me and we're good friends, if you will. But other guys, didn't see it the way I did, and luckily we were the ones who were able to put it all together there that opening day. So I actually had a guy who hadn't been up all year to the lease, and he got up the Friday before, and he hunts probably 1,000 to 1,200 yards to my south, and he went up and put some corn in his feeder, and he hadn't been up there literally all year, and I get in the blind, and that night there was another guy that was after him as well. He was kind of high on his horse, if that's the way to put it, and talking, and I was just calm and quiet, and kind of went to bed. I have my own. We have a cabin up there with 5 rooms and a bunch of, so everybody kind of stays there in the cabin,
Yeah.
and I have a little trailer out to the side, and go out there and have a little more peace and quiet, if you will. And I went to bed that night. It was hard going to sleep, and um, I woke up at 2 and just was, I wouldn't say having nightmares, but just worrying, if you will. And all I could see was that rack, every time I closed my eyes. And I ended up waking up I guess I got up about 3:45, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to make a pot of coffee and get up and I'm going to get out there, and I'm just going to get quiet. And I smoke cigarettes and I drink coffee, and I love all that stuff when I'm hunting, but I made a point not to smoke. And I took coffee, but I didn't drink any. And I rolled out of camp probably about 4:45, and every light in that cabin was off, and I was just like, it's going to be good today,
Yeah.
and snuck out there and got in the blind, 2.5, almost 3 hours before daylight, and just got quiet and meditated and think about what we like to think about when we're out there, and all the anticipation, but at the same time trying to keep calm about everything, and it all ended up working out pretty good, when it was said and
Yeah.
done, so it was well worth the wait, if that's the way to put it. So
Sounds like it.
uh,
It's just
yeah,
a journey.
that was a journey. Nate called him. I'll tell you this. I'll never. We have 3 acres down in Kingsville, and we raise goats and pigs for butcher and stuff like that. And I don't like to name them. I guess I'm just a softie.
Yeah.
I'll name them Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff like that, and it makes it a little easier, taking care of business. But I don't know if I'll ever name a deer again. And Nate, my brother-in-law, is the one who named this guy. We called him Spinal Tap because he was a mainframe 11, back when we saw him the second year. So, but the Spinal Tap about gave me a heart attack when it was all said and done. But it's all over with now. I actually dropped him off at the taxidermist this morning, so um, we'll get to look at him for many, many years to come and enjoy the memories and lessons learned, that go with hunting these deer.
Oh yeah.
I
So
think it's awesome.
hopefully you can get some time on some of those deer in some way, shape, or form out there in East Texas, and it's very hard to do, if you don't have people that are on board with trying to
Man,
let the big ones walk. And like I said, everybody wants a big deer, but they end up shooting the 130s and 128 and 10 points. That had they have 2 more years, maybe we would have a different story.
yeah.
But you just never know. That's hunting. You never know what's around the corner. There was a big deer that a girl shot up there in East Texas. I'm sure some of you guys saw that post. Um, like a 250-inch deer up there by the Arkansas border. I think.
No.
Oh,
Have y'all not heard of that? Yeah, that
Did
deer.
you say 255 inches?
Yeah, somewhere around there, and
Oh
it was
my God.
somewhere up there. Yeah, somewhere up there in East Texas. I'll text it to Jared or whatever when I see it again. Yeah, it's been all over the place.
Yeah.
They had never seen it, never had it on camera. Just happened to walk out when they were there, and that little girl lit her up.
Awesome.
So yeah,
It's like a small elk.
No, it is. I shot a Axis a few years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I think, and it was we ended up scoring over 170, and I didn't enter him in the FCI books. I just not that type of individual, and anyway, I think he'd have been a top 3 deer, if not in the country, definitely in the state of Texas. And I don't think we have a whole lot of Axis hunting short of here in Hawaii. I don't know that they're in other states, but to shoot a 170 Axis and a 170 deer out of the same place,
That's
is
unbelievable.
phenomenal. Yeah. I don't know why I've been so fortunate up there, but it's been a good little. I call it my little 4x6 space in heaven, on Earth. That little rat-filled blind of mine that barely keeps you dry has been a wonderful place for me.
Yeah. Nothing like being in nature. Getting to hear all those sounds
not at
and
all.
seeing all that.
We're lucky, man. There's so much BS going around all over the world,
Yeah.
and just to be able to, and it's tough. It's frustrating at times too. We grind during the week. It's like, man, we got to haul ass out there. We literally run ourselves clean into the ground. It takes, a week to get over a hunting weekend sometimes, just because we just go so hard, and but we're got to be thankful for the small things, thankful for the fleas and the mosquitoes and the mud and the cold, everything.
I hear that. After
Ruining
Saturday's
yourself,
hunt,
huh?
I think I got to bed at 10 and then woke up at 1 o'clock. Got 3 hours of sleep and get to the spots, and then then had a full day after that, and then my body doesn't let me sleep in anymore, so I was up at 6:30 on Sunday, and then I
and time change too. Yeah,
so I'm still feeling it today. I've been tired all day, and went to work and just got to grind it out and keep pushing, because then it's going to figure out what the plan is for this next weekend.
Yeah, we got to get our work done so we can go do it.
Precisely.
I think you know where I want you to go.
I get it.
I'm sorry.
I think you know where I want you to go.
I think you know where I want you to go. Fuck yourself.
Hell.
You two are so angry.
Dynamite.
It's because he's
I don't
gonna
know why
fucking
he's so
say
angry.
Cooper. He's gonna always just all the time say Cooper. I'm not fucking going to Cooper. I ain't doing it.
It's cool.
It's cool.
I'll teach you how to shoot ducks one of these days.
Oh, someone moved to the coast and now he thinks he's a real duck hunter.
I am a real duck hunter. I got a boat, everything.
Where y'all hunting out behind greens and stuff?
Yeah, a little bit over there.
over.
Yeah, greens, Bayou Vista, all that. Yeah, we hunt up and down the coast a bunch, but
Nice.
it's been a blast, because it's nice when there's a bunch of ducks that show up,
Oh, sure. The fishing's always good this time of year too.
Yeah.
So if the ducks don't fly, you can go
Cast and blast
let
it,
the
baby.
lines loose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's always a learning experience. The coast is an ever-changing system, and water's high at times, water's low at times. Wind is this way, wind is that way. People. There's a lot of variables to go with it. So
Yeah, no doubt. But we've got it. I was fortunate enough to get kind of brought into a group of friends hunters that have kind of figured it out down here, so I get to tag along.
That was about to
that's
say,
awesome, man.
not that you didn't build those relationships prior, but kind of how I've lucked out with you guys and Austin having a boat. I've had to work as hard as some of my friends have because my friends have money and they put in the work before me. So,
Right. Everybody's got their part, you know. So we're going to earn it one way, shape, form, or
we were
another.
talking.
repartee.
I was talking about it today at work about duck hunting because old timer at work, Baxter's like, "How's your duck hunting this weekend?" It's like, we got 4 birds. It was still fun. We had a good time. I was like, I got spoiled from the get go with my duck hunting is because I started off at Stick Farm. And so that was just like, well, let's sleep in this nice cabin and then roll out and drive 2 minutes up the road and sit down in this blind and shoot birds. And then a buddy of mine had a spot out west. That was the first spot I ever got a limit of ducks. We were done hunting by like 8 o'clock, And then you drive 2 minutes back to the cabin. You're like, well, what the hell are we going to do the rest of the day,
Yeah, no, I get it, man. That pond hunting, dude, is so much fun, whether there's a lot of birds or not. It's just, you don't get soaking wet. You don't have to run your boat through the salt, but at the same time, when things come together after doing those type of things too, it's well worth it, Like you said, just for 4 ducks, just it's gratifying getting 1 duck, and I know it's frustrating at times because we do a lot of hunting and we do put a lot of time in. But it's the small things like that, that lead to the bigger things down the road.
Absolutely. I mean, even we've had like you were talking about earlier, it's about the journey and, experiencing things. And we say it all the time. And, I don't think I'll ever not say it, but the majority of the fun on going on duck hunts is sitting in the blind and just talking about some of the most ridiculous shit ever with your friends.
No, you and Abe, y'all going off. That entertains the shit out of me. I could
it's
hear
just
that all
like
day,
conversations about the dumbest shit ever. Like
why
do you think that
we're solving the world's problems?
What do you think? Why do you think the ground's so wet today? Why do you think the leaves fell off the tree? Just like dumb things. Because you're a fucking idiot. That's why.
That's right. You drank too much last night.
I was doing how many Legos I could buy if I sold my boat and all my ducks.
Yeah. That one came up this weekend. Like, I'm selling the boat. I'm going to get into Legos.
Oh, yeah. You can fly to Italy, man.
I could have a Death Star. I could have the Starship Destroyer.
God, can you imagine?
Dude, you know how many Legos I could get if I sold all my duck hunting garbage? Bro.
I don't like this attitude you've got lately. Your defeatist attitude.
No, man, it's called priorities, man.
What if Austin got like real woke? That would be awesome.
Like you,
that instead of
them,
Legos.
Like Mr. They Them over
exactly.
there.
Like get real into like some crazy shit.
A pronoun in your ducks,
Exactly.
There's a he, him I shot.
I think you should put pronouns in your email signature, dude.
I've seen that in emailing some of the vendors at work. I have people who have added that to their email addresses.
Immediately lose about 20 respect points as soon as I see it in there. I'm just like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Really?
Your name is Jimmy, okay?
Yeah, calm down.
I-E or Y,
Yeah.
You see, it's confusing when
you picked a very confusing one.
That's one of them bisexual names that we talked about.
Bisexual.
Me and Austin and Baker went to the brewery in Broken Bow or Hochtown, and I think that's all we did the whole time we were at the brewery was talk about bisexual names.
Like
we just tried to figure out like what.
That was when we were camping.
Yeah, we had a long list, and I can't remember many of them now.
You mean the time that
Sam
that Ninja fell in the water? And
I talked about that story today too.
Turn it on.
Tell the story.
All right, so we go to Hochtown up in Oklahoma. I don't know if you've been before, Rob, but it's gorgeous up there. It's fun trout fishing. It's easy trout fishing, and it's just kind of a nice getaway. Yeah. So we went up there after duck season one year. Austin's got this big wall tent, so we camped out. We built like a big firewall and just got shit housed. The next morning, we're doing our second fish of the trip because it's Sunday morning. We're going to go back home. Well, our friend Baker's with us. And we're like, hey, dude, there's a bunch of little holes in here because it's just rocks. So just stay behind us and follow the path we take out. So me and him, Austin's in front of me. I'm behind him. We're walking out, and we both turn around. And Baker's doing like a left turn. I was like, fuck it. Do what you want to do, man. And then out of nowhere, you hear, oh, fuck. And then a splash, and he fell in the water. And it goes in his
body disappeared.
Like soaked.
And it was cold. It was the 20s.
Oh, so
no, wearing waders.
That water temp was great.
Continues.
February.
He gets out of the, we're fishing at the dam, so he gets out of the water. And he strips everything off, and Austin's yelling at him. He's like, just go sit in the truck. It's cool,
And we got out of the truck. I said, in case y'all need it for anything, my keys are right here in the door pocket. The heater, just, you need to get shit out of, like, whatever, right? I was very purposeful in saying that.
Yeah.
So everybody knew, right? Okay, now Jared, continue.
Yeah.
So, God. This one is always great. He gets back to the truck. He strips off his waders and he goes and sits in the back seat, and he's just sitting in the back seat. He just sits in the back seat, doesn't do anything. Me and him are looking at each other. We're still fishing. We're like, he's in the truck. He's fine. Whatever. We fish.
Yeah, we had
no idea he was sitting in the back seat at this point. We just knew he got in the truck.
We had to have fished for at least 2 hours.
Absolutely.
I mean, at least. And we get back to the truck finally, and we have some fish. We're like, all right, cool, time to wrap it up. And he's just been sitting in the truck.
He gets out of the back seat. Like, what are you doing in the back seat?
And so,
oh my gosh,
we hound him about the hey, dude,
why are you sitting
at the door? Like, even if you didn't do that, I'm friends with you enough to be like, dude, where the fuck are your keys? Like, come bring me your keys.
Absolutely.
I need to warm up. But he just
sat in the back seat and shook for like an hour and a half.
The fucking
his waders. He gets out.
It's not even done. No, the kicker of this all is this motherfucker. I love him, Baker. If you're listening, you're a beautiful idiot. He's wearing ankle socks, like no show ankle socks.
Because I was like, what are those socks? He's like, these were had on. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, no. There's even more. We're fishing for trout, all right? So I bring fluorocarbon line because it's clear, it's perfect. I think tensile strength's great on it, right? He's got
running like 3 or 5 pound. These trout here are stockers. There's plenty of them and you can catch them, but they're very wary. I mean, they know.
Oh yeah, waiting for that bite. I mean, it felt like it took a while to figure out when the bite was happening, and it's the lightest little touch
you can't
on the line.
A red and white bobber around them. You have to fish the clear, bubbles, and if you're gonna.
Oh wow! Yeah.
I think that was probably like 5 pound tackle that we had on our
just
reels.
Real.
And he had fucking
30 pound braid.
Fucking with braid, like he's bass fishing.
It's like, no, this is gonna work.
We still love you, Steven.
Oh, and we got hammered. He was so hungover. Remember, he got 2 breakfast burritos, got in his sleeping bag, like in it though, like a cocoon, and ate those in there and slept for hours while Jared and I just like burned shit and hung out midday.
Fuck it, man.
It was great.
Drinking a lot of whiskey, and then there was like the retaining wall on the fire pit is the key move, man. You gotta get that heat blasting toward you.
Yeah, you hang out all day if you stay warm, man.
Jared and I were dry and sober-ish. And it was great. But that dude was miserable twice on that trip.
In a weekend.
In a weekend, you were miserable.
Twice. Weekend, you were miserable. That's called being miserable the whole weekend.
Yeah.
So I watched a kid walk off the side of the boat ramp the other day, at the
I've done better.
location where
I've done better.
we hunt. He just he didn't jump out of the
Rob,
boat.
have you heard the story?
As he
have
was
you heard the
pulling
story about me and my
Hey, you finish your story
swim
first.
lessons?
I don't.
Abe goes,
this
finish
kid
your
just
kid, and then
he just
mine.
jumped right off. He was walking and just there was a pile of people putting in at that ramp on Saturday,
There.
and this guy is just.
So what?
I'm backing up.
Never mind. You
I
said
get out
me.
to.
You said Saturday, so I know where you're at. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm backing up and I get out to like push the boat off or whatever, and this dude just walks off the side of the dock there, and it's just like, oh my god, and goes basically under the water. And thankfully, he was holding onto the boat, pulls himself back up, and you know when you're just like trying to like kick and trying to get, like, and the boat's moving away, obviously.
I feel like you're about to die.
It was thankfully it wasn't.
He
cold
started
enough to be
his
a
hunt
problem at all
off like
for him,
that.
but- That's the twice that something's happened at that boat ramp. We came back the other day,
God.
and some poor fucking bastard was magnet fishing for his keys. That somehow he was getting pulled his boat up and then just dropped his keys into the water.
He said something. He said that to me because I was like, "Sorry, I almost whacked into you or something." Like, my boat had 2 canoes on it, so it was a sailboat because of the wind. So I wasn't driving great, but he mumbled something. I was like, "Yeah, sorry, brother," and we start fiddling around, and I'm doing stuff on the boat, and I was like, "Oh, doing some magnet fishing," and he mumbled something, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Like, he probably said, "I'm looking for my keys," and I said, "Oh, that's cool," like an asshole. But then later, we were talking again. He was like, "Yeah, I can't believe I dropped my keys in there." I was like, "Holy shit, I didn't catch that, man. I'm sorry." I'm like, what? How did that happen? And he was getting them out of his console or whatever on his boat, and he said he picked something up and it cooked on him and it flopped him, and he tried to catch them and they fell in the water. Like, oh my god. So he was tossing this.
I think I'd have just gone swimming immediately and got him. I'd like to say I do
because it wasn't after them.
Yeah. But he said, somebody's on the way with more, but they're an hour and a half away, and so I'm just going to see if I can get something done in the meantime. It's like, I guess that's fair. What else are you going to do?
Wow. Yeah. You might have found something else.
Strip down your skivvies, bro. It wasn't cold. And then dry waders.
Dive in.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you get a gator after.
Not that ramp. There's so many people and boats.
Speaking of gators, I saw on the news at the gym this morning, some girl was snorkeling in Florida, and a gator bit her head. And she's not dead, but she gets out, and there's just blood running down her face, and she takes a selfie with I guess the guide or whatever that was out with her. Fucking props, most people be freaking out, crying, trying to get the hell out of there. It's we got to get a selfie. Yeah,
I mean, if a gator bit your head, absolutely.
That's why you got to get
an alligator bites your head. You're like, oh,
wouldn't really want to cry about it, but at that point, I don't know if I have control over it. Your head got bit by an alligator.
I
think I bought a lot of
That's fair too. Oh, now Jared, you have to tell your boat story to Rob.
Well, I would compute. You said you would cry. I'm just picturing I feel like we all have at one point in our lives gotten our ass
Of course.
kicked. And then I compute to that, the first time you get your ass kicked and you're kind of a little kid, you cry that. It would be that kind of cry. You're so pissed and you're kind of embarrassed. This fucking alligator bit me.
Yeah.
And then you'd cry. Alligator bit me.
I think
So yeah, my swimming story. So it was duck opener 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 3
years ago. Yeah.
I decided I'd try to do a boat thing, and it just I still think maybe it's not for me. Maybe
It's not for me.
So
it's called actually using your boat more than once. Yeah.
I think 3 times.
3 times.
Third time was not the
right?
charm, so we're good. So I puttering back up the creek, getting up to the boat ramp, and there's another boat there, and then I see Gabe Morton's, and I don't know why.
It's like Jen.
I don't know why.
Jen's just not for me.
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm hung up on. Like, it's such great verbiage. Continue.
So I decide to exit the vessel well before I hit the boat ramp. And so it was probably
12 feet out or so.
10, 12 feet, of water. It's in the channel. And I just go all the way in, and then I pop back up.
Watching Jared just jump off the side of a boat that he was driving. Imagine being on that boat right then. Oh my gosh.
The best part would have been watching me try to, like, I grab a hold of the boat and I'm like paddling. I'm like, okay, I'm not lifting myself back up in this motherfucker, so I've got to now swim with the boat all the way back to the boat ramp. And then as soon as I get there, Gabe Morin's like, "Hey, you got your license on you?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then so I had in the fucking abandoned
like
ship, man.
The edge of a dock makes sense because it's dark. Maybe you're not paying attention. It's daylight. And you just jumped off your boat.
There was a dog barking, man. It distracted me. I couldn't see anything. It was the swamp gases. It was Aurora Borealis.
I would literally stand up. I would be laughing so hard if I saw you do that. Oh my gosh.
And we never did. I bet. I mean, the footage is long gone, but I should have got a hold of the game warden because she was with the body cam. And I
you got a clip of that for me?
Oh my god!
And then I ditched the boat at Austin's house because I pulled the motor off the transom somehow when this happened. Because I had to go.
He's like, I'm left at your house, but it was like half in the yard and half not. I fucking just ditched it.
But Austin is a very good friend, and he put the motor back on the transom, and I came and picked it up the next day.
The only thing that could have happened is you drop you didn't have a latch to hold the motor up, so you just dropped it in that long tail.
Oh, I'm sure that's what happened.
And then it popped off.
I'm sure that's what happened. And then the battery cable made contact, so there was some sparking. There was a fire on the boat, and
Jared's like, well, it's just me and boats.
Everything
somebody else
about it is the fire. The battery did short out, and there was a big burn spot and shit. So again, imagine seeing this happen. It's shit off a movie. Every time that story gets told, I love it more.
I just remember too because you left early, and we were sitting on that shore and watched you leave, and the fact that the front of your boat was sticking out of the water.
That's how
it was just a small 1232 with too big of a motor on the back and a dude in the back. So it was just like all nose. I have to put plate weight, and we had the exact same boat at the time, and so I'm running 90 pounds of plate weight up on the front of my boat to keep it down, right? This one here is just no, I'm good, dude, and just so I was just like, that fucker turns too hard, he's gonna dip a corner, and he's gonna fucking just
it's over with, yeah.
So I have a really nice kayak. It is cool.
That is awesome, man.
And then I have a good boat. His name is Austin.
Yeah.
That's right,
Abe.
Yeah, the best boat you can
Absolutely.
have is your
I was working on my boat today, and the light bar just stopped working because I'm moving it. So I pulled new wires and rewiring everything, and that's cool. And then the light bar just stopped because it's a boat and everything breaks constantly.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's like the never-ending tail light problem for me. So here's the thing. So I went out the other day, and I'm sleeping in the truck. And I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, what the fuck is shining inside of my truck? And
Aliens.
It's my fucking boat light. I'm like, well, how the fuck? Clearly, I didn't go to sleep with this fucking thing on. Somehow it had turned on only part of the way. Though.
Short.
It's mosquitoes, probably.
UFOs.
It's a short, no doubt.
Rob, have you been out duck hunting already this year, or not yet?
I have not, man. I have, with my move to Kingsville and everything, work full time in Austin during the week and go home on the weekends. And then when I do get a chance to go to the ranch, I go out that direction, So kind of been living out of a suitcase shit for a year and a half now. It's coming up on, So haven't got to do as much duck hunting as I want. I did get a boat, did the great thing of not running it when I bought it. Everything worked supposedly, and thousands of dollars later and fucking time,
Oh yeah.
I've got a good little boat. I'm about 25 minutes from Baffin Bay.
Oh,
And I'm probably 45 minutes from the intercoastal marker 37 in Corpus, So I'll get to I'll do a lot more duck hunting when I'm living down there full time and can put some more effort and time into it.
Go shoot you some redheads.
Yeah, there's a few redheads down there, and again, something to do, and always good fishing year round down there, So, but like these hunting leases, they're few and far between. I had no idea I'd be able to be on this place as long as I have. And again, we don't know how long. When we first got on it, we had a 5-year lease that we signed, and since then, the owner has passed away, and we're dealing with his daughter. And it's a year-to-year basis now.
Yeah.
And I was pretty concerned when the man passed away, but we've been on it for 3 years now with him gone, and everything's been pretty smooth, and we actually got the cattle off and able to let it kind of grow back quite a bit, So I'm going to do that as long as I can. I'm going to hunt these deer as long as I can up here where I'm at in these axis, and then we'll get down there to Kingsville when we do and start really duck hunting a lot more, and maybe trying to find a place down there on the King Ranch or something to go play around on, So that's a whole different game down there, down South Texas, So there's some big, big, big deer down there. So I'd love to be able to maybe work my way into that at some point,
Hell yeah.
For now, we'll just keep doing what we're doing and going up this weekend to go play around a little bit and take Nate out. Like I said, I hadn't seen him, so looking forward to that. And Thanksgiving's coming soon, so that's always a good time. It's one of my favorite times to be at the lease, but it's also my wife's birthday, so if Spinal Tap wasn't dead yet, I might be having to borrow some time from her, but I'm better be there this time,
Yeah.
I got married on the 30th of September, and 5 years ago, my buddy told me, he goes, one day you're going to bow hunt, and you're going to regret this, and I don't regret anything, but he was right. And especially moving now, time's so precious, man. It really, really is. And so opening weekend of bow season, my wife, is our 5-year anniversary. She's like, no, I want you to go hunting because you just need to go hunting, So I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. She understands, and so we're going to hunt them deer as long as we can, and we'll do a little more duck hunting down the road.
Amanda's cool, man. Amanda's down. So, she knows what's up.
Yeah. She's raising her goats down there and working at the college and in the ag science department. So she's exactly where she needs to be, man. She helps all those kids that are first year college kids from the valley and stuff. So she's a great mentor, and she gets a lot of perks from working there. So they have a huge meat lab there at school and grinders,
there you go,
sausage stuffers and stuff like that, which help me in ways, So I do have freezers full of meat, and now I've got a good place to help out with it, So it's all working out pretty good, So
shit, yeah.
Hopefully we'll get up on some of them ponds and do some of that easy old man hunting, and a little pond hunting instead of having to pack all that gear out into the marsh,
Pond is cool.
So
I love it.
Yeah. Especially if you got a dog.
Yeah, that's one thing. I had to put my dog down, so once I get down there, I'll get me another one at some point. Give me one more good bird dog. It's hard putting those damn things down, man. I just love them too much, and I was fortunate. I've had 3 bird dogs in my life, and the last 2, both of them lived over 15. So in the last 30 years, I've had 2 dogs.
Oh, wow.
So, been real fortunate. But Austin's been gone for a couple of years now, and we'll get another one, at the right time. So, I live vicariously through y'all's dogs and seeing them and stuff, and it's nice not to. I wouldn't say have that responsibility, but it's tough when when that day comes.
My God, no doubt.
But they do it for us, and we got to do it for them, and enjoy the moment. We got to live like dogs. Enjoy the fucking moment, man. Life goes by too fast, So
that crazy bitch I've got is just the best.
Yeah. That's all part of the journey. It's like the deer, man. If you'll see something 8 years from now and go, "Fuck, that was awesome." Stuff like that. So
I remember when you didn't want much to do with duck hunting, Abe. And look at us now.
That's right.
I can't believe it.
Abe,
it was crazy.
He was sick for whitetails on public land so bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's a tough game right there, bro.
It's stupid.
That's a tough game.
I hunted like a lot, a whole bunch for 2 years and saw one deer.
Oh, then there's just so many variables.
I had one time I was sitting in a tree stand, like deep into this piece of public property, like I was miles in
deep,
and this guy in white jeans with a girlfriend in tow and a blind already up, just dragging a crossbow through it. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh my God.
Just like,
sound like a painter that ran away from a job site.
It just was like one of those things. I was just like, what in the fuck are you doing? Like,
it's even if you didn't like actually witness it. You hit the heart.
You're wearing white and you've got a blind already, like a pop-up blind already out, and you're just walking around holding it. Like, what are you fucking doing? It's not. I don't even care that you're there. It's like, fine, it's public land, but what are you doing? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not like you walk past me and you were like, oh well, it's you have a blind out walking through the brush with your girlfriend in tow in white jeans.
Brutal.
Don't you know you're not supposed to wear white after Labor Day?
Exactly. There was one time I was sitting like on a creek channel, and some dumb fucking duck hunter comes and blows a shotgun like right off behind me. I was like, oh my God.
Christian that day. I was like, Abe hunts right up here. I wonder if he's here today. And then I shot them.
Yeah.
Then talked to me.
I was like on the water. Like I literally was maybe 10 feet off the water. Like this tree I was in. And I was just facing the other way. The river was behind me. And so I was not facing that way. And then all of a sudden I just hear this boom, boom. And I like spun around, and I looked down, and I was just like, thank you for that. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, where are you coming from? And I was like, yeah, thanks for that, buddy. And I went back to the boat ramp, and old Gary Miller was like, because we all went back together, and so you guys had shotguns, obviously, and I had a bow, and I was, he in a tree stand, and he was like, so where's your shotgun? I was like, I don't have one. He was like, well, it's kind of weird. You're with your friends here, and they all do, and you don't. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm deer hunting up on the creek. He was like, you paddled all the way up there? I was like, yeah. And he knew me, thankfully, so he was like, okay, like that's a journey you just made there, buddy. Like he was just like,
hell yeah. Admirable.
It was
that public land's tough, man. It really, really is.
Yeah, it's a hard game.
Have you done any of the draw hunts?
Yeah, I've done a couple. I've done one whitetail draw hunt before, and kind of the same thing. It was just hot and just.
What unit did you go to?
I was up at Old Sabine River Bottom, is where I hunted up there.
Lots of skeeters I heard up there, man.
Yeah, that's just par for the course.
Yeah, it's a different type. And it's, we get used, we're spoiled here in Texas. We're able to feed and bait per se, if you want to call it baiting, but it's really feeding and stuff like that. But you get on those public lands, and it's a little bit different story. I got drawn for the Teniente nail guy, and we could shoot whitetails too. And it was a January hunt. That's down in Raymondville, down the valley. Everybody's so bonered up about getting the nail guy, and it's archery only, of course. And I said, screw this, so I'm going to go find a whitetail to mess around with, and found a little rub line, and found a little spot that I kind of liked. And you can't, of course, you're not supposed to move brush or cut anything or any of that, so you got to be real careful. And there's just a bunch of grass down there, and I kind of just picked up a few handfuls of grass and stuck them in this branch that had already fallen over on a tree, and sat down and was just watching that rub line. And about 30 minutes after sitting down, actually, a deer came from my right side and was upwind of me, and he walked literally close to about 10 yards from me, and it just surprised me, and he never saw me, and I just stayed still. I didn't even have my bow in my hand, and I said the only way this is going to work out is if literally he turns around and walks back to where he came from. And within 5 minutes, he was doing just that somehow, some way, and I was able to get my bow up and around and drawn on him and let one go, but it helped me that everybody was doing nail guy, I think, at that time. And just, I found that little rub line and got off the road a little bit, and it worked out, but the day before, I'm sitting there, and you get 3 different people walking by you all different times of the day, and it just you can set up and do and hunt as hard as you want, but there's just those other variables that you have no control over, and it makes it very difficult to be successful.
So I decided to stop doing that and do duck hunting.
Yeah, duck hunting's fun. It's expensive. It's hard. It's cold. It's wet. It's early in the morning. But there's, do it while we're young. Do it while you can. We're all going to get old one day, and there'll be a day where we can't go sit. And we can't carry decoys and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So we gotta do it while we can. Live for the moment.
Yep.
No doubt. It's such a blast to be able to be outdoors and doing that and enjoying that.
You can't for a real long time.
Yeah.
Like this.
What's that?
All right. Well, that leads me to my next point is, if you guys aren't already, we started a petition. We want to get Austin reported to Adult Protective Services. He's fucking losing it. So just check out the Instagram or whatever we have, and then there's going to be a petition up there because he needs full-time care.
Dude, he needs a living maid.
Yeah.
Dude.
Bars on the windows. Yeah.
Make sure you're not shaking pills.
He's just not... Where's your helmet at? Put your helmet back on.
Yeah. But...
Now you're not supposed to have that off right now.
Now, Austin, it's nap time right now, so go back to your room. You can come out and have some ice cream later.
And guess what? Your back's about to hurt.
Lawn duty.
Because you just pulled lawn duty. Oh, God.
Like, I think Austin is the kind of guy who would move into an over 55 community the day he turns 55. He's just like, fuck it, let's do this.
Made it, boys. I made it.
You know how much grandma poo you'd be cleaning up on if you moved into a 55?
All right. We're done here. We just took a hard left, and I'm not here for it. Rob, my brother, I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight, man. I know you're a hard-working SOB, so,
I appreciate it, man. It's good to catch up with y'all, man.
We have to figure some time to maybe do some, if you do end up having some time this year, we'll do some ducks, or just maybe we'll go shoot some pigs whenever deer season and duck season's over.
Yeah, man, let's do something like that for sure, man. That sounds
good. Around in the woods.
I'll get some pictures up on the Insta What's here before long, Y'all can look at that old Spinal Tap
Absolutely.
deer a few
Oh,
more
yeah.
times. So it's good catching up with you guys, and appreciate you guys having me on, man. It's been fun.
It was a blast.
This is my first time ever doing a Zoom meeting or anything like that. So I'm getting introduced
Hey,
to
man, you
technology.
did wonderful.
So,
Technology, man.
cool.
Well, thanks everybody,
Well, right on, guys.
and make sure you subscribe. And we'll put up Rob's Insta and Facebook and all that stuff. So if you want to go check out Spinal Tap, you can for yourself. And keep railing.
Stormwater Creek is the best. Grinch, the captain. Aim, the helper. Jordan, the problem solver. I hope you like Stormwater Creek. Stormwater Creek.